Hello, VoiceOver Mike here. Just to remind you that Smart Show and Mike's LED Shed will be at the Plaza Show at Olympia in London from September the 1st to September the 3rd, 2024. We will be in booth A32. Please come along, say hello to us, and you can get your hands on the Smart Show Pro 1 LED controller. We'll have a live demonstration there with lights, so come along and say hello. Hello again. Well, I've been spending again. Sometimes you just see something online and you think, I've got to buy that. So I've bought this. It's not a set of trainers, before you ask. And I have opened the box previously just to make sure there was no address or letter or anything like that inside it. So what have we got here? Well, let's open it up and have a look. We have a load of bubble wrap, as normal. That one and that one, so let's get rid of the box. Right, I'll put this one to one side for a second and we'll just have a look at this one. But of course you will know what's here because of the title of the video. So here we have Spectrum number 1. This isn't a fixed video, this is a video just to say I bought these, we'll do some basic tests and have a look at them, and maybe sometime in the future we'll have a look at one of these in more details and get a fix done. But in the meantime, let's just have a look at these, let's do some basic testing and see what we can find. I'll put that over there for a minute and then we'll take the rest out. Right, there we go, we have the 3 Spectrums. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, so first of all, the keyboard cover isn't stuck down, that's very loose, and the actual quality of it is either covered in something. I thought it was paint that's chipped off at first, but oh, it is paint that's chipped off, so I don't know if I can repair that or not. But so we've got the keyboard off. We've got a couple of labels. We've got a label here with a number 5 on it, which is stuck over. We've got a label here. It says ZX Spectrum issue 3, RAM 48K. It's got a couple of numbers written down there. Serial number is D0122671, which is up on the corner there. The sticker is GRBY. I've always thought that's green, red, blue in yellow, but never mind, that could be something else. Z80 is a NEC. The ROM is Hitachi. Mod on the UM1233, it says E36. Recap is not ticked or anything. Composite is not ticked and membrane is not ticked. So it looks like this came out of a repair shop or something then. We've got no feet on here. Looks like there was a sticker in the corner here that's disappeared. Okay, that's over the earphone and microphone. Oh, why do people do this? Right, that's that sticky off. Oh dear. Right, let's have a look inside. Okay. Okay, so keyboard's not attached for starters. This looks quite old. along with the keyboard there. So if we was going to get this working, we'll need to replace the membrane and stick that down again. Main board. Okay, so we've got a ULA version 6. I think 7 is the latest one. Definitely got NEC Z80, which is just there. Doesn't look as if it's been recapped, but can you see down here? This is interesting. We have some bodge wires. There's a bodge wire there and a couple of bodge wires here. So someone's been in here at some stage. Nothing is on a CPU holder apart from the ULA, which is normal. Right, there's no screw holding the circuit board down, so someone's definitely been in here in the past. It's not had a graphics mod on it, so we'll have to have a look at that in the future. Okay, so looking underneath here, it definitely looks as if something's happened around here. It looks like there's a bit of flux around here, which is the coil. I don't know if that's from factory or if that's been played about with or not. The 9-volt transistor transformer, what do you call these? I'll find out. Regulator, there we go. The 9-volt regulator looks like it's the original. What have we got? TR5 and TR4, they look originals as well. They don't look as if they've been, I don't know. Bring your magnifying glass over. Yeah, there's a bit of something to point with. There's a bit of flux residue here. So it looks like that one's been replaced, which is TR4. So TR4's been replaced. Looking under the microscope, there's definitely been some rework around here. This is the coil and the regulator, so there's definitely been some rework there. The edge connector is very dirty, we need to clean that up. So this is an issue 3 board, 1983. And yeah, there's definitely some soldering and some flux around the RAM chips. So these RAM chips have definitely been changed in the past. Hence why whoever's done this has put the bodge wires in place. So we've got a mixture of RAM chips makes here, a bit of all sorts. I think 8225, 8448, but they're all 4116 chips, so that's okay. Right, okay, so this has definitely been worked on in the past. I'll have to do some investigation on that to see what state it's in. I feel as if this is slightly warped, you know. I don't know if that comes through on the video or not, but it just feels as if it's a bit, doesn't quite fit in the case right. Right, okay. Let's put the cover back on and oops, it's upside down. Okay, we'll put the cover back on and we'll have a look at the next one. Right, so the next one. First of all, yep, that's loose again. So the sticky tape on this one's come loose over the years. Case looks okay. There's no label on the back here, but there has been a label of this in the past over the screw. Looks like someone's taken that off. Missing feet again, as per usual. Looks a bit beaten up and battered, but it's in general good shape. Right, screws out. Okay, screws are out. Let's have a look at this one then. One of the screws was, which is this one in the bottom corner, wasn't coming out, so I think the thread's crossed on that. Let's have a look at this. Okay, first of all, the keyboard's not connected. That's damaged as well. That's definitely ripped there, so we're going to have to replace that. That one's completely broken, so we have to replace that as well. So again, another one that we have to replace the keyboard membrane if we want to get this working. Right, let's have a look at this. First thing I can see is that all these RAM chips have got IC holders on them, so someone's definitely been in here before. The ULA is version 6 again, that's on a holder. The CPU, the Z80, is also on a holder, and one of the upper RAM chips is on a holder as well. So there's been a lot of work done on this one. No graphics change on that. Composite graphics mod. This screw is amazingly loose. I don't think that's even the right screw that's supposed to be in there. Right, let's have a look at this then. Okay, so this is an issue 4S. Yes, we can definitely see again a load of flux around the RAM chips, so these have definitely been changed in the past. What else can I see? And again, round here, round where the coil is, it's a bit of a bodge up with that soldering. It's not fantastic. The regulator doesn't look as if it's been changed. The regulator is a bit of a mess though. There's definitely some soldering around here. Is that transistors? Yeah, so we've got TR4, TR5. Yeah, to do with the power, so they've definitely been changed in the past. Soldering's not fantastic, but it's okay. Anything? Oh yeah, here we go. So this is the Z80, I guess, is it? Yeah. So the Z80's got a lot of flux around it as well, so that's been worked in the past. That's why it's on a IC holder, so we can test that later on. So yeah, so here's another one that's been worked on in the past. This had quite a lot of work on it. Capacitors have not been changed, and it's not had a composite video mod change, so it's been a lot of work on this, but yeah, one good thing about it is that all the RAM chips are the same make and model and everything, so that's good. Someone's replaced them with a full set. What we got? Issue 4S 1983. I reckon that coil's new, you know. Yeah, I reckon they've changed the coil on that. It's got CPC on it. I wonder if that's where they bought it from. Right, okay. That's one to test later on. That's had a lot of work on it. Let's put that back in. Okay, so that's that one very quickly looked at. Let's put that to one side. And the last one, let's have a look at this one. Okay, so first of all, the keyboard cover is okay. There looks like there used to be a sticker over here, but that's disappeared. Another sticker, number 7, so the other one was 5, this is 7, so someone stuck that over the earphone and microphone. I've got some goo gone somewhere, just bear me for a second. Oh dear, why do they do this? It just causes more problems. Right, for later on, I've got some of this goo gone. So it's goo and adhesive remover, and we can use this on the plastic to get rid of all the nasty label that someone's very kindly stuck over there. Right, so this has another sticker. It looks like it's had a sticker in the past. So this is Spectrum 4S, serial number again, sticker G, it's a Zilog Z80, ROM GI it says on there. It's got mod E36, the same as the other one I think it was it? E36? Yeah, the other one said E36 as well. Right, okay, however this is slightly different. This does say it's been recapped and a composite video mod done, but not the membrane. Rest of the case looks okay, although it's a bit dirty. Okay, so that's all the screws out. Let's have a look inside. Okay, keyboard is not attached, although that looks and feels fairly new, that one. Doesn't feel too bad, that one. Doesn't feel as papery as the others do. So I wonder if that's been replaced in the past. Could do, because this top is stuck down quite well. Right, the main board. Right, first thing I can see is we've got black capacitors in everywhere. So it looks like this has been recapped in the past. The ULA is version 7 by the looks of things. It's in a IC holder, so that's been replaced in the past. The Z80 is not an IC holder, so that's the original. Let's have a look. It looks like the... Oh, I'll tell you what, let's take it out of the case, that might help. So what I was going to say was, it looks like, yeah, TR4, TR5, which I think has got something to do with the 12 volt or -5. They looks like they've been replaced. The regulator looks very clean. That looks like a modern one. That looks like it's been replaced. That looks like the original coil, so I'm not sure if that has been or not, although looking at the top of the circuit board, the soldering looks a bit dodgy. What else can we see? Oh, it has had a capacitor put on there, so it has had a video mod done. These look amazingly new, so I reckon these have been replaced as well on here. I just need to check that, but all these look amazingly new, so it looks like they've had those changed. Slight damage on that one. On the underside, actually no, I'm now going to change my mind. Oh no, yeah, it does look as if these solder joints have been attacked on these capacitors. But the RAM chips don't look as if they've been touched. Yeah, okay, so this is the coil. Oof dear, that leg there, that middle leg's not even attached to anything. I know it's not attached within the circuit, but that's physically not attached. So it does look as if this coil has been changed at some point. And the regulator, yeah, a load of flux around there, so that regulator's definitely been changed. That coil doesn't look particularly good actually. I wonder if they've swapped that from another machine. The rest of the board looks quite good actually. What we got, it's issue 4S. So yeah, that doesn't look too bad, that. I'll have to double check to see if these are original capacitors. I don't think they are. I reckon all these have been changed, the ceramic ones. Right, okay, interesting one. That's something that, in fact, when I might look at in a minute, I might get the test. In fact, I'll do that. Why don't we get the tester out, plug this one in. It's had the video mod done on it, so it'll be easy to connect to my monitor. We'll plug this one in and give it a few tests and see what we can find. Right, before we do some basic checks, let's just show you very quickly what I'm going to use for the diagnostics. First of all, we've got our trusty multimeter. So this will do basic checks. We can check the ohms, we can check continuity, we can check voltage on these. So that's one of the tools that I'm going to be using. Put that to one side. We're also going to be using this little beastie, when I can get it untangled from the other side of my desk. Here it is. This is a Z80 CPU tester. Let me jump in a bit for you. Here we go. I'll just plug this into USB and then you can see it working. Okay, so there it goes working. I'll turn the lights out so you can see. So hopefully you can see the LEDs counting up at the side here. I'll press the reset button so it restarts again. There it goes. So what this is doing is it's counting, it's testing each of the channels at the side there. As it goes up, you can see that it is counting along nicely. It's just a quick check to make sure that the CPU, this particular CPU is one of my spare ones, so I know that this one's working correctly. So as you can see, it's just counting up and up and up and up, making sure that everything's okay, it's processing okay. So this is a good CPU. So one of those circuit boards, I think the CPU was in a CPU holder, so we can pop that out and plug it into here and we can check it's okay, and it's just finished doing all the counting and it just resets. So that's the CPU tester. We've also got this, which is our RAM tester. This is for 4116 and 4164, so I've got it labelled up here. The 4116 is a Spectrum and the 4164 is for the Commodore C64. And I brought a couple of chips out as well here so we can show you how it works. First thing we need to do is give it some power. And I'm using my bench power supply. This needs 9 volts, so we'll just plug that in there, pop that in there, power this up. There we go. And let's pick a chip. Just make sure it's the right way around, so the indent's at the top. There we go, that's in. Okay, let's press test. And you can see it flashing away. That's actually doing a test on it. The cross, I was just going to say the cross was on, but it's disappeared. And after a couple of minutes, that will finish. There we go, it's finished now, and the LED stayed on the tick, which is there. I'll just put my finger over the LED. So you can see, so that's a good chip that's in that one. I'll pick another one. There we go. Again, just making sure that we've got the cut out the right way around. Put that one in and we'll give this one a test. Again, the red cross has come on, but the flashing blue is still there, so it's now testing away. Just put my thumb over it so you can still see it flashing away, but it's a bit bright, that, isn't it? Okay, and we've got a tick on there, so that's how it does. Just checks to the RAM to make sure that they're okay, and those two are okay. So as you can see, I've got a few spares here if we need them. So that's the RAM tester that we'll be using later on if we get that far. Okay, and the third thing that we've got here is our old favourite, the ZX Detonator. This has got a test ROM in it, and it can boot to a normal ZX screen, or we can use the built-in diagnostics to check the RAM, the upper RAM, the lower RAM, etc. This has also got a couple of games on as well, so if we have this in, we can actually test it with a couple of games, but that is very much later on, assuming that we find a working machine. Right, where's that specky gone? Here it is. I'm going to put the lights back on again, so watch your eyes. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the lights are back on again. So let's take this out of its case. Grab our tester and let's do some basic checks. Right, I've got the multimeter in continuity mode, and we're going to do a couple of very simple checks to see if we have any shorts or anything like that. If not, we can plug it in, we can test voltages, and if that works okay, we can connect it to the monitor to see what output we've got. So first of all, I'm going to put one of the leads on this heatsink and the other one on the middle pin, and we've got the middle pin is ground, so we've got continuity there, that's okay. Just check the other pins to see if we've got any shorts on there, and it doesn't look as if we do. So next thing I'm going to do is check between the ground and the plus 5 volts. So we've got two capacitors down here. This side is positive, this side is ground, so if I put it on this side we should get a tone, which we do, so that's okay. And this side, we should not be getting the short there, so that means that the 5 volts is shorted out. That's not a good sign. Next thing I'm going to do is the RAM chips. I'm going to put one of the probes on the ground, which is just there, if I can get it on without it falling off, and the plus 5, which is down the bottom here, and we've got an immediate short. So I'm not going to go any further with this. There's something quite serious wrong with this. We've got a short on the plus 5 volt rail. If that's occurred, then this board is not going to work. I'm not going to go any further with it because this needs some quite drastic diagnostics. If we didn't get a short, we could test a couple more things and find out what's going wrong, but because I've got a short on the 5 volts, it's absolutely pointless going any further with this one, which is a shame because this looked quite a nice board. It's had the capacitor change here for the output, it's had the capacitors change on board, but there's something quite seriously wrong with this. There's a short somewhere. That's it. I'm not going to go any further. I'm going to grab one of the other boards. Right, I'm going to write on this plus 5 volt short. So I know that there's a major fault with that one. Right, let's grab one of the other ones in. This is the other one with a sticky label on the back, so let's pop this top off and have a quick look inside it. We've already had the back off this one, but let's see if I can check this one as well. Right, okay, that's that done. We know the keyboard's not connected, so that's okay. Let's put it to one side. This is the one without the screw in it, and it is also the one with the bodge wires on it as well. Okay, so let's do our basic check again. Right, first things first, check the ground here, which is okay. Check either side of the regulator, there's no short there. Let's check the short between here and the ground here, which we've got. And we don't have a short on the plus, which is good, that's okay. Right, I need my magnifying glass again, but we'll do a quick test again between the ground here and the 5 volt here. That's okay. The top left hand corner is shorted, so that's the minus 5 volt, and then here is the 12 volt. I think it is actually. Let me just double check that. Whoops. No, I've been telling you wrong. So that other board, the short, is between the ground and the 12 volt on the other board, and the minus 5 is in pin 1, so this has got the short on the minus 5 volt, and then the plus 5 volt is on the left hand side, right hand side there. So this also has a short, and that short is on the minus 5 volt rail. So the other one, where did I put it? Here it is. It's not plus 5, it's the 12 volt rail. But this one does have a short, and this one has a short on the minus 5 volt rail. Right, so that's got a short on it as well. I'll tell you what, while I'm here, this is mine. This is one of my test ones. This is working okay, but I'm just going to pop the top off because I want to just double check that minus 5 volt rail. Right, can I do this now? I've actually changed the... Oh no, I haven't changed the membrane in this. I do need to change the membrane in it, but I'm just going to double check that minus 5 volt rail. So test again. Yep, so that's okay. Between there and ground, that's okay. Between there and ground, that's okay. Between there and plus, we're okay. Magnifier down again, I'm afraid, and oops, can't see, there we are. Yep, so between the minus 5 we don't have a short, 12 we don't have a short, and 5 we don't have a short, so that's what I thought. So sorry, magnifying glass was in your way, but we don't have a short on those on my working one. So it is definitely a short on that one. So let's put this back together again. Right, okay, that's my working one, so let's put that to one side. So back to this one. So this does have a short on the -5 rail. Okay, so we can't really do anything with this one at the moment. I wonder if this is why so much work has been done around that coil. Okay, so that's that one back together again. So on this one we have a short on the -5 volt rail, so that's one we can have a look at later on. So that's not very good at the moment, is it? 2 out of 3 I've got shorts on the 5 volt and 12 volt rail. Right, next one then. Right, third and final one. Loose keyboard, as we've already found out. This is one without a sticker on the back, so let's have a look at this one. Hopefully one of these won't have a short on it. I'm not doing very well with these, am I, at the moment? Shorts are quite difficult to trace. Normally the transistors, but if it is them, I'm going to have to order a set. But we shall see. Right. So this is the one with the RAM that's been worked on before. The RAM is on its own chip holders. So let's have a quick look at this multimeter. Okay, so we've got continuity between the ground, that's okay, that's what we want. Ground here, yep, ground here, no, that's good, ground here, yep, that's okay. Sorry, needing a magnifying glass, old eyes aren't as good as they were. Right, let's have a look. So between the ground and the -5 volt, not shorted, that's okay. That's the ground, that's okay. The 12 volt, not shorted. And the 5 volt, not shorted. Whoa! We might have a possibility here then. No, hang on a minute, what was that? Was that just my multimeter? Right, I think that's just a spurious bleep. Yeah, I think that's okay. Right. Okay. So the CPU is in a chip holder, and so are these RAM chips. So I think the next thing we'll do is we'll pop this off. So we can access the CPU. We'll need a screwdriver to pop it off. Oops, not that, not a drill. Where's my flat-ended screwdriver gone? Oh, there it is, right. Let's see if we can very gently pop this out. It's creaking a lot. It's not been out for a while by the sounds of things. It's creaking a lot. Feels very tight in there. Well, it's coming out gently. There we go. I haven't got any deoxit. A lot of the guys online, they use stuff called deoxit, so we can test it using our CPU tester. So let's pop my working one out, pop that one in. Oops. Let's have some power. Okay, I'll turn the lights out, press the reset. That is an immediate fault. Let's pop that one out, put mine back in again. Yeah, and immediately it starts checking correctly. That is an error. So this Z80 is definitely dead. Okay. Right, well that's interesting. So this Z80 is definitely dead. Lights are coming back on again. Okay, the lights are on. So that Z80 is definitely dead. Let's just have a quick look at the... I'm using my magnifying glass again. But I'm just going to give this a quick check over. Make sure there's no pins that are crossed or messed up. There is a lot of flux underneath here, but it does look like that's soldering's quite good. I'm just going to give this a quick clean up. Where's my spray? There it is. This is IPA that I'm using here. So I'm just going to give this board a quick spray with that. Right, I'm only cleaning it up so I can have a closer look at it to see if it's... which one is it? This one here. So yeah, so that's cleaned off quite a lot of that flux. But the actual soldering looks quite good. Sorry about the flashing. Yep, that's okay. So it does look like that CPU was dead. Right, I think the best thing I need to do now is to check the RAM chips as well. So I'll pop off one now, we can have a quick look at it, and then I'll stop the video and I'll check the rest. Somewhere I've got which is, don't like using this because it can be a bit violent. There we go. Right. RAM tester, power. Okay, so making sure it's the right way around. Put that in there. Let's give this one a test. It's flashing away okay. As you've seen, this is one of the Arduino ones that you can buy online. Yep, that's okay. So that one's okay. I'm now going to pause the video and I'm going to pop all the rest out and test them as well. Right, I'm just tested all these. I just thought I'd just show you. This is the board without the RAM chips in it. There we go, all the RAM chips are out. I've tested all the RAM chips. They're lined up here at the moment and they're all testing okay. We've all got a nice blue light with a tick on it. So all the RAM chips have tested okay. So I'm now going to put all the RAM chips back in again because they look a-okay. Right, back in a moment. Right, all I've done so far is I've put all these RAM chips back in again and I've put the broken CPU back in again. Now there's a reason for that. If I remember correctly, when you put a Spectrum, when you connect power to the Spectrum and the CPU is gone, you normally just get a black screen because it can't process anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug this in. We can check power while it's plugged in. And we can see if it's coming up with a black screen. So if it's coming up with a black screen, then we know that it's definitely the CPU. Well, we know the CPU is gone, but we can just double check that. But what we need to do before we do that is we need to do a quick composite video mod on here. Now there's an easier way of doing that. What we can do, we don't necessarily need to put a capacitor in there. We can actually connect the signal directly to the plug just for testing it. Once we've got it working, we will put a capacitor on there, and if we do get it working, we'll do a capacitor check on, and we'll do a capacitor change as well. Just bear with me, we're going to cough. Right, sorry about that, I just had to cough. So what we're going to do is we'll stick the soldering iron on so that warms up. We'll need to disconnect the 5 volts, which is this cable here, disconnect the signal, which is this one here. Inside there is a resistor which is connected to the plug, which is there. We need to disconnect that and then connect this cable directly to the plug there, and that will send the signal out. It's not perfect, it's not 100%. Like I say, what we'll do, if we are going to keep this, we'll stick a capacitor on here like we're supposed to do, but this will do a quick bodge just for us to do some testing with. Okay, so what we'll do then, the 2 connections are underneath the circuit board, which is down here. I'll stick a bit of flux on there just to clean them up a little bit. There we go. We need our desoldering gun, which is this one here. I'll just make sure that the end is clean. Yep, end is clean. Well, when I say clean, I mean cleanish. It hasn't got any solders stuck in it. Okay, which is, I think I need a new one of these at some point. Right, okay. Let us clean the end of that. I'm going to bring in my magnifier again. And I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. And all I'm going to do is just warm up the board and then clean it off. Okay, that's stopped working, so I think I've got some solder stuck in there. Yep, I have, so and Oops, sorry, you can't see. Sorry. Right, inside I'll just disconnect that resistor like that. And then what we can do, I'll just bend these out of the way. We don't need these anymore. And then we'll use something like a leg of a resistor or something like that. Have I got a spare one? I'm just trying to I've got this box of bits here, look, and I'll just find a long that might do it. So a couple of those, right. So all I'm going to do is just plug that through there, solder that onto the middle pin in there. Oh, that hasn't stuck. Let's do that again. It's better. Right, and then all we need to do is then just poke that through the hole. Right, again, like I say, this is just a quick bodge. This isn't a permanent fix. So we just connect it from the centre pin, from there, directly to the board, ignoring all this, and that should give us a composite video out. Right. Okay, let's plug it in. Okay, so making sure that the board is nice and clean. Don't want any bits of solder underneath. Right, okay, so what we need is power. We need the connection to our TV. Right, okay, so I need to slightly alter this camera so you can see what's going on. There we go. Right, I'll try that again. Hang on. There we go. You can see the telly now, can't you? Or the monitor. Right. Let's switch it on and see what happens. Yep, we've got a black screen. So there is a, you can see that, but there's a very yeah, there's a black right in the middle there, so that's telling me that that CPU is definitely dead. Right. I don't want to leave it on too much because we don't have a heatsink on here, and that has got quite warm, so I've turned it off now. We'll pop the power out, pop that out. Right, so what I need to do then is pop the CPU off and replace it with mine that I know is actually working. Right, CPU is in, so let's try this then. That one and that one. Right, I'll move this again so you can see. Okay, let's power on and see what happens then. And we've still got a black box. Okay, that means there's something else that's the matter with this. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out my Z80 because I don't want that one to get damaged any further. So I'll pop this one out. Just loosening it up, just prising it up very gently either side. And I'll just oh, it's tight. It's very tight. It's very tight. There we go. Not bent any pins, that's okay. And before I go any further, I'm going to check to make sure it's not been damaged, because it is the only Z80 spare one that I've got, so I need to look after it. Yes, it's counting up correctly. Good. So I've not damaged that at all. Right, I'm going to put in the broken Z80, and the reason why I'm doing that is because the next thing I want to do is test the voltages. So I'll do that with the broken Z80 in. And what I'll also do while I'm here is I'll put a cross on it so I know that is definitely the broken one. Right, okay, I'm going to test the voltages now, but I just need to test the regulator first, but I need that quite quickly because it doesn't have the heatsink on it, and I'll test the regulator and then we'll put the heatsink back on and then we'll test the rest of the board. So we'll stick that. Can you see that? Yes, you can. So what we should see is 9 volts one side and 5 volts the other side. Or is it? Right, so the power is off at the moment. Put that in. The middle pin is ground, so we know that. Power is on. So one side we've got 5 volts, the other side we've got 9 volts. So yeah, so it's 9 volt in and 5 volt out. So that's okay. So that's working okay. Right, I'll just stop that and I'll stick this heatsink back in again. Again, when we if we get this board working at some stage, I'll replace that with a more modern one. Okay, so I have a piece of paper here with a guide for myself, 4116, and I'll stick that over there because it doesn't so it doesn't make the video flash. Right, okay, so we need to test the rest of the board. Right, power on. Ground, and pin number 1 is minus 5 volts. Pin number 1 is minus 5 volts, so that's pin number 1, and we are getting 0.2, so that's wrong. Pin number 8 should be 12 volts, and we're getting 2 volt. Pin number 9 should be plus 5 volt, and we're not getting anything. So it looks like there's something fundamentally serious with this one as well. And I'm going to make a guess to say that my finger just touched the CPU, which is very, very hot. I'm going to guess because there's been work done on the coil and on the transistors down here, something fairly fundamental has gone wrong down there. So I think at the moment that is it. That's all we can do with these at the moment. The good news is we've got 3 machines here. I'm sure we can fix these. We know the CPU is faulty on this. This hasn't been had a capacitor change, but there has been some work on it, and those IC holes look quite good. I've got my working ZX Spectrum, so I can test the ULAs on that later on, and we'll see what we can do, but that is for a video at another time. Hope you've enjoyed that. If you like what I do, please subscribe, and don't forget, all this coughing and spluttering and talking is making my throat dry, so if you get a chance, please can you buy me a coffee. Thanks very much. I'll see you all again soon. Thanks for watching.